Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me. The debate I actually got a chance to see again. The debate between, and when I say again, I mean this would be my second official opportunity to sit through a debate that lasted almost 2 hours, I believe. The first one was with Trump and Kamala, the chameleon Harris. But yeah, this was JD Vance and Governor Tim Walz. And I was able to get a chance to sit through this and watch it and listen to it for myself. And I must say, I was thoroughly impressed with JD Vance. Now, and listen, folks, listen, I'm not just saying this because he's a Republican and I'm conservative and of course there's going to be a little bias there. But I try to, when it comes to my bias, if you will, I try to be as objective as I possibly can. Okay, it's not merely that. I mean, even some of the mainstream media outlets are admitting that JD Vance won that debate. I'm saying it's because JD Vance won that debate. I mean, he is a master debater. That is the first time I actually got a chance to hear him speak on a number of different issues that the moderators were asking, and he did exceptionally well. I made this statement on a Facebook post last night during the debate, and in reference to the idea of both sides having some valid points. JD Vance had some valid points. Tim Walz had some valid points. And I got a little criticism from that. So it wasn't a strong, like, oh, you pro Tim Walz or whatever. Look, I'm not into all of that kind of stuff. Whoever, the best man won, the best debater won. Okay, so that's all I'm into. But I made the statement, and they weren't vindictive about it or abusive with the words or disrespectful, but they were saying basically that I was in a sense comparing the two. It was like, essentially the person said, well, there's no comparison between JD Vance and Tim Walz in terms of their debates. And I was like, well, that's true now. I understand it now because I got a chance to see the entire debate all the way to the end. But during the debate, Tim Walz, what I did say and clarify to this individual on Facebook was that Tim Walz did not create word salads like Kamala Harris did. So I think Tim Walz did much better. So I wanted to clarify that and clear that up to this person on Facebook. Look, Tim Walz did much better than Kamala Harris. He wasn't into a lot of word salad, even though he did tell some lies, and even though he did look like a buck-eyed fool every time, well, not every time, but sometimes JD Vance would go in hard on him on certain issues, and I mean, split him wide open, and he'd be looking like he about to have a heart attack. Like he about to have a stone cold heart attack. Calm down, Tim. Like he's about to die. That's what I wanted to mention there to the person in Facebook is look, JD Vance clearly won the debate. Some mainstream media outlets are admitting that. It's hard to go around it, but I just wanted to make sure that people understood what I meant in Facebook is the fact that I was just saying that Tim Walz did a much better job than Kamala Harris. He didn't do a lot of word salad nonsense like she did. Let's be clear. Let's be clear, folks. I was such and such and such and go on and on and on about nothing, okay? Tim Walz didn't do that, okay? Tim Walz didn't do that. But you could, if you watch the debate, you could see clearly that Tim Walz was faltering on a lot of issues. And I'm thankful about JD Vance. One of the things that I admired about JD Vance was he was completely calm. He was in control as compared to Donald Trump. Now, when I say Donald Trump, I'm not saying it in a negative way of putting Trump down, okay? I'm pro-Trump in terms of his policies and all of that, okay? I mean, I think his policies are the best for the country, okay? But it's clear that JD Vance is a trained professional debater, okay? Whereas Trump is not. Trump is clearly not a trained debater. Trump is, first of all, a businessman and an entertainer at heart. He's not a trained politician. Okay, so he's not good at debating. In fact, sometimes Trump allows his emotions, like he did to some degree with Kamala Harris, get to him. And what I mean by some degree with the Kamala Harris debate in reference to Trump was that even though he didn't do a lot of name calling that I could remember, if any at all, you could see that he was frustrated. You could see he was angry. He never looked at Kamala Harris, and some people on the left accused him of being afraid of Kamala Harris. He never looked at her because he was afraid of her. He was fearful of her. He knew. No, I don't think that was it at all. I believe the reason why Trump never looked at Kamala Harris was because he couldn't stand her. Trump, I believe, in my opinion, truly loves America. He truly loves America, and he hates to see the route that it is taking with these establishment politicians. He has seen the destruction of our country. He has seen jobs being shipped over to third world countries and income being diminished in middle class families. He has seen that happen in this country over the course of the years, and it angers him. And he said that all the way back in the 1980s, for crying out loud, to when he was interviewed by Oprah Winfrey. That was way back in the 80s. Give me a break here, man. Come on. This man is absorbing all this type of stuff. And as a businessman, he can see it more than most people can. So he was just ticked and angry at, in my opinion, at a lot of these politicians. So when he was on stage speaking to a debating with Kamala Harris, he didn't look at her, not because he was fearful of her. He didn't look at her because he can't stand her. He can't stand Biden. He can't stand all these establishing people, and he wants them out. So to even look at her probably made his stomach tie up in knots. And that oftentimes showed on Trump's face. You could see the anger whenever Kamala Harris would say something, Trump would do like this. He never would look at her to put his eye like, oh my God, I wish be glad when she just shut up talking. It was the direct opposite with JD Vance. When it came to issues like topics like illegal immigration, JD Vance was totally poised and in control. I wish I could do that. I wish I could debate like that. I hate debating. I hate debating because I get too emotional. I do, especially when I'm debating with someone on the left. I can't stand debating with them because when I start making points, and this has been my experience with people on the left, when I start making valid points and so forth and getting facts and data, they get upset and start calling me names. You a coon, you a sellout, MNF and this and MNF and that. And it angers me to the point where I just want to slap them. Okay, so why put myself in that situation? I don't have that kind of force because I've had bad experiences with debating with people on the left. In this debate, which obviously such a thing shouldn't be happening in a professional debate, in terms of whether it's the president or the vice president, JD Vance kept his poise all the way. Okay, even when the moderators turned off the microphone at one point, and I can't remember exactly when, what the topic was. I think it might have had to do with, that's what I think it was, the 20,000 Haitians that were brought to Springfield, Ohio. And then the moderators were saying, one of the moderators said something along the line of, they were there legally and all this kind of stuff. And so JD Vance said, let me correct that. And he began to refer to a type of some kind of a system put in place that would protect these illegals from being deported. Something along that line. He began to explain it, and all of a sudden they shut the microphone off, and it was just terrible. It was just terrible right there. It was terrible. It was terrible. They should have let him go ahead and explain what it was, but they didn't want that. They didn't want that because they in on it, as far as I'm concerned. But that's cool. The moderators did okay. They did okay, except that one incident right there. They did okay. Okay, but at any rate, JD Vance, I was extremely pleased with the way he went about everything. I actually started clapping at some points. I'm like, man, this is brilliantly put out. He really laid it on Tim Walz, particularly with the illegal immigration and so forth, with the borders being wide open. Walz couldn't do, what could he say? What could he really say that could defend Kamala Harris's policies in reference to open borders? What could he really say? He tried to spin around it, but he couldn't. He couldn't. And so, yeah, it was just crazy, man. And they dealt with the abortion situation, and they talked about that a little bit. I really didn't call it in on that, weigh it in on that too much, because I felt like that's not really a major issue, okay? Now, as a Christian, as a man of God, I do believe that abortion is murder, and I don't excuse it in any sense. Okay, as a politician, I explained it before. If I was working in politics, I would, you know, allow some concessions because I'm trying to get votes. But as a Christian, I believe it's murder, and I believe most women that get abortions get them out of inconvenience. I'm not talking about the women that were raped and all that kind of stuff. That's not the majority of the women that get abortions. So, yeah, but I don't think that's a major issue. Okay, you know, it's like, what is the major issue? The economy and the borders. Those are the major issues that every American just about is feeling. And if they're not feeling the illegal situation with illegal aliens, they're feeling it with the economy. Inflation, you barely can buy food. Just yesterday, I went grocery shopping at Heinen's, and Heinen's is high anyway, But my goodness, man, it cost me almost $100 just to get basic. I really didn't have a cart full of anything, and it cost me almost $100. The food that I have is going to be gone in 2 days, and it cost me almost $100. So that's insane. I would have never had to go through that had Trump been in office. I don't ever remember having that kind of issue when Trump was in office. Okay, so the issues are inflation that every American is dealing with just about, unless they're super rich, and most Americans are not. Okay, illegal immigration, high crime. I mean, these are the things that need to be talked about. And these are the issues that JD Vance really hit on. He really explained it well, to the point, even as I said earlier, that some mainstream liberal media outlets are admitting JD Vance won on that. I mean, he won. I won, period, Yeah, so I just wanted to say that. I mean, this was an awesome debate. And to me, JD Vance clearly won it, not because he's a Republican and I'm being biased, but because it was clear that he won it. Whereas Tim Walz, on occasion, even though he wasn't creating a lot of word salads and so forth, and he was responding, he wasn't talking about, let's keep something clear. That nonsense that I don't like Kamala Harris. Let me be nice here. I just can't stand that, man. I can't stand all that stuff. But he didn't do a lot of word salads, and he would answer the questions. But at times he would fumble big time. I mean, one time he got caught in what was it? I don't know. He was in China or whatever with a protest. I didn't know anything about no protests in China that he was a part of. I knew nothing about that, so I can't speak on that. But he got caught with it. He's like, well, I wasn't there. There's nothing I could do. There's nothing I can say about that. I misspoke. He lied, but then these politicians make me sick. A lie is you misspoke. No, you clown. You lied. You got caught in a lie, and there was nothing you could do about it. And you got asked that question during the debate, and there's nothing you could do. But what you gonna do? Back up? You misspoke. He didn't misspeak. He lied. Because this is what politicians do. They lie. Okay, let me go on. Yeah, so he got caught with that. I like the summary when they gave their last words. And JD Vance's last words were just awesome, man. I mean, he was just really, and when he said, God bless you all. I mean, and you know what's awesome, also great about JD Vance is in the debate was his refusal to try to attack Tim Walz. He didn't attack Tim Walz's personality. He didn't attack any of that. He didn't do any of that. He simply criticized the policies of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. That's what he did. He criticized the policies of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I mean, he didn't put any of them down. He just criticized what their policies did. And I like one particular time we talked about an issue that came up with one. I can't remember exact because it was like 2 hours, and trying to remember all of this stuff, it's a lot. But JD Vance responded to Tim Walz with the words, and I'm paraphrasing his words. He's like, Tim Walz is interesting to me, and I'm paraphrasing. He says, how you have to play gymnastics basically to with this, because You have to ignore the fact that Donald Trump, when he was in office, inflation was at its lowest. Donald Trump, when he was in office, we didn't have any wars. You have to really, really ignore all of that and fake it till you make it, basically what he was saying. He said you have to ignore all of it. You can't ignore any of this type of stuff. It's accurate. You know, people can attack Trump's personality and attack his temperament, and he's not real good with words. He's not really articulate and so forth. He tends to get emotional. Okay, you can say all of that. But at the end of the day, when he gets in office, he gets things done that benefit all Americans, not just a bunch of wacko Marxist activists and so forth, and wacko crazy politicians that are out here that are nothing more than communists trying to destroy our country. No, he put forward policies that bless and benefit. I said bless, but it did benefit all Americans, and at the end of the day, that's what's supposed to be. Okay, so yeah, I really take my hat off with JD Vance. I'm beginning to like this guy more and more now, you know, more and more now. So I'm going in some following videos, I'm going to do some more videos on this whole debate for some articles that I'm going to read. But yeah, he did an exceptionally good job. And like I said, I'm beginning to like this guy more and more. Before the debate, I've heard little bits and pieces of him, talking and responding to questions and so forth. And he did exceptionally well. The mainstream media, of course, tried to paint him as this evil guy, bad guy. That's what they do all the time. They've been doing it with Trump since he's been in office, in his first term. I mean, that's what they do all the time. That's what they do. Paint bad pictures of people they don't like and paint a Messiah-like picture of people that they want and they like and they want to get them in office. So, yeah, whatever, man, whatever. JD Vance clearly won, and I'm hoping that this has some kind of effect on voters going into the polls in November. I don't know how this is going to come out, but hopefully it works in the favor of Trump. So, yeah, that's what I had to say about that. What do you guys think about the vice presidential debate? Did you guys watch it? What do you think about JD Vance? What do you think about Tim Walz? What do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.